If you're watching this, chances are you've been manifesting for a while now, and you're probably frustrated as hell because you keep getting the same results no matter how hard you try. Here's the brutal truth that's about to change everything. What you're manifesting isn't broken. It's perfectly aligned with who you're showing up as. I know that might sting a little, but stick with me, because this revelation is about to become your greatest breakthrough. See, most people think manifestation is about convincing the universe to give them something they don't have. They visualize, they affirm, they do their gratitude practices, and then they wonder why they keep attracting the same relationships, the same financial struggles, the same frustrating patterns. What they don't realize is that the quantum field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to who you are. And if you're showing up as someone who doesn't have what they desire, guess what you're going to keep manifesting? More of not having it. This is why quantum self-transformation is the missing piece that most spiritual teachers won't tell you about. It's not enough to change your thoughts or raise your vibration temporarily. You need to literally embody your future self so completely that your nervous system believes you already are that person. When you master this manifestation identity shift, everything changes instantly, because you're no longer trying to get something from a place of lack. You're expressing something from a place of fullness. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover exactly why you've been stuck in the same manifestation loops, how to identify the hidden identity patterns that are creating your current reality, and most importantly, how to embody your future self so authentically that your external world has no choice but to reorganize itself to match who you're becoming. This isn't theory. This is quantum physics applied to consciousness, and it's about to revolutionize how you approach creating your reality. There's a soul-crushing pattern that most people get trapped in without even realizing it. The endless loop of trying to manifest something different while being exactly the same person who created their current reality. They'll wake up each morning with renewed hope, visualize their dreams, recite their affirmations, and take inspired action, yet somehow they keep finding themselves in variations of the same story. It's like being stuck in a cosmic Groundhog Day, where the scenery changes slightly, but the fundamental experience remains frustratingly familiar. What they don't understand is that manifestation isn't about getting something new. It's about becoming someone new. The universe doesn't respond to your requests, it responds to your resonance. The emotional exhaustion that comes from this cycle is devastating because it makes you question everything: your worthiness, your power, even reality itself. You start wondering if manifestation is just wishful thinking, if successful people are just lucky, if there's something fundamentally broken about you that prevents you from creating what you desire. But here's the truth that will set you free. You're not broken and you're not powerless. You're just trying to create from the same level of consciousness that created your current situation, and that's literally impossible. Einstein said, "You can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it," and this applies perfectly to manifestation. If you want a different reality, you need to become a different person. Not just think different thoughts or take different actions, but actually embody your future self at the core level of your being. The pattern persists because most people approach manifestation like they're placing an order at a restaurant. They think they can remain exactly who they are and just receive something different. But the quantum field doesn't work like a cosmic delivery service. It works like a mirror that reflects your inner state. Every time you try to manifest abundance while embodying scarcity, love while embodying unworthiness, or success while embodying limitation, you're essentially asking the universe to break its own laws. The field can only give you experiences that match who you're being, not what you're wanting. This is why the same patterns keep showing up, because you keep showing up as the same person, just with different hopes and dreams layered on top of the same fundamental identity. Your inner identity operates like an energetic blueprint that the quantum field uses to construct your reality. Think of it like the architectural plans for a building. No matter how much you want a mansion, if your blueprints are for a small cottage, that's what gets built. Your subconscious mind holds these blueprints in the form of beliefs, emotions, memories, and self-concepts that were largely formed before you were 7 years old. These early programs run 95% of your life, operating below the threshold of conscious awareness, but powerfully shaping every experience you have. The field doesn't judge whether these blueprints serve you or limit you. It simply says yes to whatever you're consistently being and creates experiences that match that frequency. This is where manifestation identity shift becomes crucial, because you can't override your energetic blueprint with conscious effort alone. You can think positive thoughts all day long, but if your unconscious blueprint says, "People like me struggle with money," guess what experiences you'll keep attracting? You can visualize your perfect relationship, but if your energetic signature broadcasts, "I'm not worthy of real love," the field will keep reflecting that frequency back to you through unavailable partners, toxic dynamics, or chronic loneliness. The field is incredibly precise. It responds to your authentic energetic state, not your practiced performance or conscious desires. Understanding this changes everything, because it shifts you from trying to get something from the universe to transforming who you are for the universe. Instead of asking, "How can I manifest more money?" you start asking, "Who would I need to become to naturally attract abundance?" Instead of wondering, "How can I find my soulmate?" you explore, "What version of me would be an energetic match for extraordinary love?" This isn't about fake it till you make it positive thinking. This is about quantum self-transformation at the deepest levels of your being. When you align your inner blueprint with your desired reality, manifestation becomes effortless because you're no longer fighting against your own energetic signature. Your self-image is like a script that reality follows with Oscar-worthy precision. Every person you meet, every opportunity that comes or goes, every challenge you face, they're all actors and props in the play that your subconscious mind has written based on who you believe you are. If your internal script says, "I'm someone who works hard but never gets ahead," reality will cast people and create situations that keep you working hard without getting ahead. If your script says, "Love always leaves me," you'll keep attracting people who confirm this belief by leaving, being emotionally unavailable, or creating drama that drives them away. The tricky part is that most people aren't conscious of their actual script. They think they know what they believe about themselves, but they're only aware of their conscious self-concept. The real script is written in the language of emotion and energy, stored in your body and nervous system from years of repeated experiences. You might consciously believe you deserve success, but if your emotional body holds memories of failure, criticism, or disappointment, that's the script that gets acted out. You can tell what your real script says by looking at your recurring patterns, the same types of people you attract, the same obstacles you face, the same frustrations you experience. These patterns aren't random. They're your subconscious script manifesting with consistent precision. The beautiful thing about realizing this is that you can rewrite the script at any time. You're not stuck with the story that was written for you in childhood or during difficult experiences. You have the power to become the author of a completely new narrative. This is where manifestation identity shift becomes practical and transformative. Instead of trying to change your external circumstances directly, you focus on rewriting your internal script by changing your self-image, updating your beliefs, and healing the emotional patterns that keep the old story running. When you genuinely transform who you believe you are at the deepest level, reality has no choice but to reorganize itself to match your new script, because that's how the quantum field works. Consciousness creates reality, not the other way around. Intention without embodiment is just wishful thinking with good vibes attached. Most people get stuck in what I call manifestation limbo. They set clear intentions. They know exactly what they want. They can visualize it perfectly, but nothing changes because their intention isn't backed by embodiment. Intention is like having a destination plugged into your GPS, but embodiment is actually getting in the car and driving there. You can know where you want to go all day long, but if you never shift into gear and start moving, you'll stay exactly where you are no matter how detailed your mental map might be. True manifestation happens when intention and embodiment merge into a single force. This means you're not just thinking about who you want to become, you're actually practicing being that person right now, in this moment, with this breath. When you embody your future self, you're not pretending or performing. You're accessing a version of yourself that already exists in quantum potential and learning to live from that frequency consistently. This requires a fundamental shift from trying to get something you don't have to recognizing something you already are, but have temporarily forgotten. It's like remembering you have money in a bank account you'd forgotten about. The abundance was always yours. You just needed to remember how to access it. The magic happens when your intention becomes so embodied that it stops feeling like something you're trying to create and starts feeling like something you're naturally expressing. When you reach this level of quantum self-transformation, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing, because you're no longer creating from a place of separation or lack. You're creating from wholeness, from alignment, from the recognition that you already are what you seek to become. This is why some people seem to effortlessly attract everything they desire. They've learned to collapse the gap between intention and embodiment, between wanting and being, between who they are and who they're becoming. Here's a practice that will revolutionize your entire manifestation process. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you think about your to-do list, before you engage with the world in any way, spend 10-15 minutes being your future self. Not visualizing them, not thinking about them, but actually embodying their energy, their perspective, their way of being in the world. Close your eyes and ask yourself, how does this version of me breathe? What's their posture like? What thoughts naturally flow through their mind? How do they feel about themselves, their life, their possibilities? This isn't imagination. This is energetic practice, and it's the fastest way to embody your future self I've ever discovered. Throughout your day, make decisions from this elevated identity. When you're choosing what to eat, ask yourself, what would someone living my desired reality choose? When you're interacting with others, how would this version of me show up in this conversation? When you're facing challenges, how would someone who already has everything I desire respond to this situation? These micro-choices might seem insignificant, but they're constantly programming your nervous system to be comfortable with your new reality. Every aligned choice is a vote for your new identity, and when you accumulate enough votes, the election gets called in your favor automatically. The key is consistency, not perfection. You don't need to nail this 100% of the time. You just need to practice it more often than you practice your old identity. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, you have to consciously translate everything, but eventually you start thinking in the new language naturally. Manifestation identity shift works the same way. The more you practice being your future self, the more natural it becomes, until one day you realize you're no longer practicing. You're just being. This is when external reality starts shifting rapidly because you've successfully reprogrammed your energetic blueprint, and the quantum field has no choice but to reorganize itself to match your new frequency. One of the biggest obstacles to transformation is the terror of losing who you've been, even when who you've been isn't serving you. There's something strangely comforting about familiar limitations. They might be painful, but they're predictable. Your old identity, no matter how constraining, has been your survival strategy, your way of making sense of the world, your protection against the unknown. Letting go of this familiar self can feel like dying, and in a sense it is. You're allowing a version of yourself to dissolve so that a new version can emerge. This process requires tremendous courage because you're stepping into the void of becoming without guarantees about who you'll be on the other side. The fear usually shows up as, what if I lose myself? Or what if people don't recognize me anymore? Or what if I can't handle who I become? These fears are actually signs that you're on the right track, because they indicate you're approaching a genuine quantum self-transformation, not just a superficial change. The ego's job is to maintain consistency and keep you safe within known parameters, so of course it's going to resist you becoming someone new. But here's what I've learned through my own journey and working with thousands of people. You don't lose yourself when you transform, you find yourself. You don't become someone else. You become who you actually are beneath all the limitations and conditioning. The secret to letting go without resistance is understanding that you're not destroying anything. You're upgrading everything. Your core essence, your unique gifts, your fundamental goodness, none of that changes. What changes is the limiting stories, the constraining beliefs, the emotional patterns that have been keeping your true self locked away. It's like removing layers of paint from a beautiful piece of furniture. You're not destroying the furniture, you're revealing its original beauty. When you approach manifestation identity shift from this perspective, letting go becomes an act of self-love rather than self-destruction, and the process becomes much more graceful and natural. Here's something that will blow your mind. When you genuinely shift your identity at the quantum level, you don't just change your future. You literally shift into a different timeline where your new reality already exists. I've seen this happen countless times, both in my own life and with clients. Someone will have a profound manifestation identity shift, and within days or even hours, their external reality starts reorganizing in ways that seem almost magical. Job opportunities appear out of nowhere. Perfect relationships manifest suddenly. Financial abundance flows in from unexpected sources. Health issues resolve mysteriously. This isn't coincidence. It's quantum physics in action. Let me share a real example. I worked with a woman who had been struggling financially for years, despite working multiple jobs and trying every manifestation technique she could find. After one session, where she truly embodied the identity of someone who naturally attracts abundance, her reality shifted dramatically within 48 hours. She received an unexpected tax refund, got offered a promotion she hadn't applied for, and had someone offer to pay off a debt she'd been carrying for years. The external circumstances didn't gradually improve. They suddenly reorganized to match her new energetic signature. This is what happens when you embody your future self authentically, rather than just thinking about it intellectually. The reason this works so quickly is that all possibilities exist simultaneously in the quantum field. There's a timeline where you're struggling and a timeline where you're thriving, and your identity determines which one you experience. When you shift your identity genuinely, you're not creating a new reality. You're accessing a reality that already exists. It's like tuning into a different radio station. The music was always there. You just needed to adjust your frequency to receive it. This is why quantum self-transformation can create such rapid changes. You're not building something new from scratch. You're aligning with something that's already fully formed and waiting for you to tune into its frequency. Right now, in this exact moment, you are a walking, breathing transmission tower broadcasting a signal into the quantum field. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold, every way you show up in the world, it's all part of the signal you're sending out. And the universe, in its infinite precision, is responding to that signal by sending you experiences that match its frequency. The question isn't whether you're manifesting. You're always manifesting. The question is, what are you manifesting, and is it what you actually want? Your current reality is a perfect reflection of the signal you've been broadcasting. If you want to know what frequency you've been on, look around you. Most people spend their entire lives complaining about the radio station they're receiving without ever realizing they're the ones controlling the dial. They broadcast worry and receive more things to worry about. They broadcast scarcity and attract more experiences of not having enough. They broadcast unworthiness and magnetize people and situations that confirm their belief that they don't deserve good things. Then they wonder why manifestation isn't working for them, not realizing that it's working perfectly. It's just reflecting their actual signal, not their desired signal. This is the most empowering realization you can have, because it means you have complete control over your experience through the frequency you choose to broadcast. The manifestation identity shift that changes everything is when you stop broadcasting who you've been and start broadcasting who you're becoming. Instead of letting your signal be determined by your past experiences, current circumstances, or temporary emotions, you consciously choose to broadcast the frequency of your highest possibility. When you embody your future self consistently, you're essentially hijacking your own transmission and upgrading it to match your desired reality. This isn't about pretending or putting on a mask. It's about accessing the authentic version of yourself that already exists in quantum potential and learning to live from that frequency more often than you live from your limitations. The moment you make this shift genuine and consistent, your external reality has no choice but to reorganize itself to match your new broadcast, because that's how the quantum field works. Consciousness creates reality, and you are pure consciousness having a human experience. So here's what I want you to do right now. Stop for a moment and honestly ask yourself, who am I showing up as today? Not who do I want to be, not who I think I should be, but who am I actually being in this moment? Because that version of you is exactly what you're going to keep manifesting until you consciously choose to embody your future self instead. Are you ready to stop trying to get something and start being someone? Are you willing to let go of the familiar version of yourself that's been creating your current reality and step into the unknown territory of who you're capable of becoming? Because here's the thing, quantum self-transformation isn't about adding something to who you are. It's about removing everything that isn't authentically you. I want you to try this for the next 24 hours. Instead of focusing on what you want to manifest, focus entirely on who you want to become. Make every decision from that elevated identity. Speak from that consciousness. Move through the world as that version of yourself. Watch how quickly reality starts shifting when you stop broadcasting lack and start broadcasting fulfillment. What's the biggest manifestation identity shift you're ready to make right now? Drop it in the comments, because I want to witness your transformation and celebrate your breakthrough with you. And if you're serious about mastering this process and creating lasting change in your life, make sure you watch the video appearing on your screen right now, where I reveal the 3 specific identity patterns that keep people stuck in manifestation loops for years. Remember, you are the signal that reality is responding to. What frequency are you broadcasting today? Embody your future self right now, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell, because every week I'm sharing the deeper truths about conscious creation that most people never discover. Your future self is calling. It's time to answer.